Palma. Oh,
Oh,
that's unfair, and Palma 7 points in the game.
To Del Puentes. Delgado makes the shot and knocks it down. Maloria is open. 3-point. Oh my goodness! Isang jumper by Robin Celis. Natalgero has time. Just posterized by Scott.
Biyaheng panorte po ulit ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. And this is a beautiful look here at the Rosales in Pangasinan. And it's always nice to be back dito po sa Robert Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium at the heart of the beautiful town of Rosales. And we cap off our week with another triple header this Saturday dito po sa Pangasinan. This is the Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. 4 p.m. game between Pasay and Imus, followed by a South Division clash between Zamboanga and Quezon. And in our main game, Pangasinan will defend their turf kalaban ang Rizal. And to get this show on the road, let's go to Miguel Pere for starting lineups.
A very pleasant afternoon to everybody and welcome to the first game of our triple header here at the Robert B. Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium in Rosales, Pangasinan. It's Pasay versus Imus live on Puso P and on YouTube channel. This is the 2025 Manny Pacquiao's MPBL Season 7. Let's meet the starters first for Pasay Voyagers. Starting at forward number 10, Mark Sanko. Also at forward number 11, Jasper Salenga. Playing center number 45, Christian Farito. One guard number 3, Darrell Mandiguez. And a two guard number 15, Cyrus the Righteous Tabi. The head coach for Pasay is Marlon Keith Martin. Assistant coaches, Vic Escudero, Hubert De Los Santos, Adrian Bocal, Don Mordeno, Willie Generalao, and Brian Orog. Team consultant is Cholo Martin. Team owners, Raul Bacalso, Miko Ligot, Davin Castro, JD Castro, and Leon Calixto Rubiano. Here comes the starting five for Imus Grumpy Joe. Starting at guard number 13, Yusei Koga. Also at guard number 21, JV De La Cruz. Playing center number 25, Rick Kaunan. Forward number 16, JP Belanchon. Also at forward number 24, Mark Doligon. The Imus Grumpy Joe is led by assistant team manager TJ Marquez. With Mike Orquillas and RJ Rizada, team owner is Ruby Navarro. Referees for this ballgame are Jay Castroverde, Holly Damicog, and Karina Martin. The substitute referee is Lester Arcega. This game is held under the supervision and regulation of the Games and Amusements Board.
All right, it's Pasay versus Imus in our first game. Pasay in their white threads while Imus in their green jerseys. Magsisimula para sa Pasay Voyagers itong si Mark Sanko, Cyrus Tabi, Christian Farito, Jasper Salenga, and Darrell Manliguez. On the side of Imus naman, Mark Doligon, JP Belenchon, Rick Kaunan. We have Rusey Koga and JV De La Cruz. And the tip going to the side of the Imus Brotherhood. Muli po, Ken Pangilinan with Coach Mike Perez. And later we'll hear from Miss Andrea Endicio, the former Pasay Voyager JP Belencion. Starting off with a jumper over the outstretched arms of his defender. Nothing but nylon.
Well, you know, JP Balencion is right now playing for Imus and he's playing against, I do understand, one of his former coach in Coach Marlon from PMMS, if I recall correctly. And pakita agad ng footwork at basket sa labas para dito kay JP.
Jasper Salenga, pocket pass to Mark Sanko. Floater will not drop. Mark Sanko starting only in his third game, but certainly has impressed lately para dito sa Pasay Voyagers.
Oh, without a doubt. Alam mo naman si Sanko, isa yan sa mga, I would say, mga magic bunot nito ni Coach Marlon. Actually, dumami nga yung magic bunot ni Coach Marlon. So, see another basket right here for Imus. Pretty good start for the Brotherhood team. Samantalang naghahanap pa rin ang unang field goal ito ng Pasay Voyagers.
Dalawang jumpers yun, ha? Tig-isa galing kay JV De La Cruz at kay JP Belencion. Cyrus Tabi knocks down a free to give the first field goal for the Pasay Voyagers.
Kanina nang tinatawag yung starting five, parang nagulat pa si Cyrus Tabi. No?
Oo,
Sama siya sa starting five. Always been a regular starter para dito kay Coach Marlon, si Cyrus Tabi, having started this is his 17th start in 27 games that he's played.
Mid-range jumper this time off from JV De La Cruz. Pasay Voyagers are 19-8 coming into this game. Christian Farito, a huge reason why the Pasay Voyagers have the second longest winning streak currently in the MPBL.
And he's taking his game to the next level of making shots from the outside. And clearly you see that, you know, ability of him to find that range from the outside. And you kind of like want to continue to see that if you're the Voyagers.
Three-point shot brought to you by Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
At saka napaka-importante nito para dito sa Voyagers itong game nito kasi their last two remaining games have actually playoff implications. They're actually tied in the standings with trying to gun for number 4 with Caloocan, Pangasinan, as well as Pampanga. And right now, it's Pampanga that sits at number 4 and Pasay goes down to number 5 after Pampanga's win yesterday.
Mark Doligon at the line has been their leading scorer ever since JJ Caspe went down with an injury and has not returned since.
Oh yes, pretty much. And si Caspe, you know, the absence of, you know, not being available for a huge part of their game, especially later this season, is talagang nararamdaman mo kung ano nagiging impact ni JJ Caspe. And so, katulad nga sinasabi natin ng mga coaches, next man up. And the next guy that has really risen to the occasion and the opportunity is itong si Mark Dolico.
For sure, you have to wonder how their season might have transpired if those two played more games together, had more opportunities to build their chemistry, because we've seen a lot of games, unfortunately nga, either one of the two yung wala, na kung kaya nilang gawa, kaya nilang gawin yun para sa Imus.
At saka it's always, I feel I'm very curious if na-sustain nila yung partnership nito ni De La Cruz as well as ni JJ Caspe. Because those two, I feel, are a good guard combo para dito sa Imus Brotherhood, let alone, you know, the very capable alternate scorers in, of course, Mark Doligon and even Reggie Boy Basipas. So, hindi mo rin makakalimutan si JP Belencion dyan. And so that's the thing. Oh, wow.
Right on cue, Mark Doligon gives the lead back to Imus 7-6.
That's the thing about Imus basketball. Because they have so much talent, for the most part, they really do a lot of isolation plays. So guys creating for themselves, you know, not so much of finding the open man. Very rare na nangyayari yun. Kaya nga, even if you look at their previous game, naka 7 assists lang sila, which is You'd like to hope mas mataas pa siya.
Abysmal yun.
Oo, napakababa nun. To think that you have very capable decision makers on the floor para dito sa Imus Brotherhood.
Cyrus Tabi gets into the paint and scores. Lead back to Pasay 8-7. Under 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Mark Doligon's jumper off. Faarito lost his footing.
Ooh.
Nice move by Cyrus Tabi. So that shot well challenged. This is JV De La Cruz, who also missed a lot of games. That's what we were saying, no? Hindi lang si Doligon, si Casper, si JV De La Cruz. These three probably comprise of their top 3 scorers.
Yes.
And for good reason, much like that one from Mark Doligon.
At saka without a doubt, itong si Mark Doligon and JJ and De La Cruz really have been not just on the scoring side, no? Even on camaraderie, on togetherness, and you see a lot of, you know, pagsamahan itong tatlong to on the floor at the same time, and you get what Reggie Boy Basibas off the bench. That too is another key contributor para dito sa Imus Brotherhood.
Also, di na rin nakatapos ng season, no? Sa kanila yung kanilang original head coach, Coach Petre Roma. Cyrus Tabi buries a free from the left wing.
And remember, we talked about the value and the importance of point guards in this season's playoffs, no? And I definitely think Cyrus Tabi is one of those guards na talagang ang laki na naging improvement para dito sa, lalo na para sa Pasay Voyagers.
Mark Doligon airballs the free. This is the lethal backcourt nitong Pasay. Kabilang dyan si Cyrus, the right shoes Tabi, who was able to make that 3-point shot. Let's go courtside to Miss Andrea Indicio.
Ang storya sa Pasay for this game, building up momentum and upscaling their tempo. Para nga yan sa mas mabibigat nilang laban na nalalapit. Speaking of upbeating their tempo, as you can see, Coach Marlon Martin is starting with their 3 guards. He said, susubukan daw muna niyang mag-switch ng combinations and push the speed even more. Meanwhile, for the side of Coach Vic, who has been building the defense of the Voyagers, even though they are facing a low-seeded team, he wants the boys to practice what he implemented in preparation for their next game, which is Binyan. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. As Mark Doligon attacks and scores 14-11 for the Pasay Voyagers. But just going back to Andrea's report, Coach Mike, no? It's very evident ever since nawala si Warren Bonifacio, si Lawrence Victoria, we were left wondering what would be left dito sa Pasay, no? Would they be able to sustain their winning record? At one point, if you remember, they were at 10-8. Nandun sila sa bingid, no? Pero despite the heavy opposition they faced as JV De La Cruz hits a free, nakita natin yung uptick in production. The pace was certainly faster. Cyrus Tabi, JR Chavez, and even Jasper Salenga have stepped up. And then the arrival of Christian Faarito really boosted their offense even more.
Yeah, pretty much. And I talked to Coach Marlon actually earlier and asked him about, you know, the move of those 2 key guys in Warren Bonifacio and Lawrence Victoria. And the first thing that he told me is this. It wasn't an easy decision also for us. It's tough to lose, you know, your top 2 key players that have really been parang the face na rin of the Pasay Voyagers. But, you know, understanding where else they can, you know, opportunities for themselves and opportunities as well for both Warren and Lawrence. You know, they took that shot at doing that.
Fast break the game brought to you by Extreme X Pop, personal karaoke speaker, everyday karaoke.
And because they did that, they definitely understood the pieces that they were getting. And the hope really is that yung next man up mentality is magsimulang, you know, maging evident dito sa mga sa mga existing players nila. And thankfully for them, talagang kinuha ng mga ng mga players that they retained yung opportunity na yun. And the more important part is the new guys have meshed well with those that have really been Voyagers since the start of the season.
Yun yung kagandahan para sa kanila eh.
Yes.
Na-figure out agad nila, no?
Yes.
How the pieces would fit the players, the kind of players that they had, and what kind of system they needed to run in order for them to become more successful. And as a result, 9 straight wins on the cusp of making the playoffs para dito sa Pasay.
And one might even say na naging basehan rin siguro ng decision nila na ganon kahit gaano pa kahirap yan. The first 8 games was actually 6-2, no? Ang maganda yung record nila. But then again, when you look at the next games, it's really just 4 wins versus 6 losses. And so that one is tough. I feel that's when they started making that move, approaching the window. And since then, they've been on a really good win streak. Ito nga Pasay Voyagers.
Yung sinasabi mo, naging 10-8. Pero ang Imus, 9-0 run. And Kerr Bangeles hitting that jumper. It's now a 4-point lead for the Brotherhood.
Well, the Brotherhood, you've seen games that they actually start very strong. Hindi na tayo naninibago dyan. But it's finishing games. It's again, the games are really decided on the third and the fourth quarter. So how well you play well in the first half, this is not really an indicator you're going to win the game.
Jer Chavez stops the bleeding for Pasay, nailing that 3-point shot. Lead down to 1, 18-17. I have to correct you a bit, Coach Mike. It's Brotherhood.
Yes, Brotherhood.
Ayan.
Actually, no start ng season, yan yung ini-emphasize eh. It's Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. Yeah. Pag di sinabi ni Andre ng ganyan yan sa report niya mamaya, pagsasabihan natin yan. Ha? Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. Kaya kailangan sisterhood. Talagang yan.
Oo.
With emphasis.
2019, 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Belenson isolated up top against Damian Lasco. Fouls to give para dito sa Pasay.
Actually, both teams have fouls to give. Pero, yeah, that was a good cue. Nung alam nilang pa-atake na, foul na. So long as it's not in the act of shooting.
Belenson receiving the pass from Basibas. Time
watch
winding down. Jump shot from JP off the mark. First quarter comes to a close. It's been a game of runs so far here. Imus got off to a 4-0 start, but lamang ngayon ang Imus 2019. Mark Doligon against Quezon, despite the loss, continues to sizzle here, Coach Mike.
Oo, kakaiba naman talaga yung naging field goal percentage ni Mark Doligan. He was pretty good in the perimeter. He did struggle from the three-point area, but again, those 24 points have really been big for the Imus Brotherhood as they really tried their best to combat the very dominant Quezon Huskers.
One of the wonders here in the MPBL is body built, yet moves very niftily. Ito si Mark Doligon. Let's go courtside to Andrea.
Kagaya nga ng sinabi nyo kanina, Ken and Coach Mike, Mark Doligon has been the one stepping up for Imus Brotherhood. Pero kwento niya nga sa akin, he is far from what he used to be back then. 2015 to 2017 when he was still in Blackwater, 2019 in Bacoor. Yan daw yung mga panahon na masasabi niyang he was at his best conditioning. Iba daw yung speed, lift, kapasa bola, and the list goes on. Aminado nga siyang ang hirap ng ibalik ng ganong kondisyon, especially with a short preparation for the season. But I'm just curious, have you guys seen Mark or how he plays during those years, Ken and Coach Mike?
Maraming salamat, Andrea. Have you, Coach Mike?
Well, I think
Yeah, I
I've
did.
seen him in some of the games, but true, totoo naman yung sinasabi na yun ni Mark, and pretty much with the way that he moves now, tama naman, because as you age, some things get taken away from you. Pero hindi maano diyan is your vision, your reads, your skill sets might be a little bit slower, pero andun pa rin yung mga movements, and that definitely something that Mark was able to retain over the years.
Ang pinaka-naalala ko kasi before he suited up now for Imus, he was much more of a role player as Damian Lasco for Pasay scores. And yeah, to Andrea's report, much more conditioned, definitely mas payat, mas bata.
Oo.
But here, you see him, the way he scores the basketball, it seems so effortless, but it's a testament to how he's one of the smartest players we had in terms of him figuring ways to score despite his limitations here.
Yeah, I think that's the operative word, yung being smart.
Fast break the game brought to you by Extreme X Play on the go speaker. Take your music anywhere.
Right there, really just a decision to give up the ball, having Mark Doligon getting committed. A good pass right there. Medyo nag-fumble ng konti sa kabila dahil dalawa yung Voyagers doon, but good thing they were able to recover and Damian able to sink it. And then going back to Mark, tama yun eh. As you age, you try and play a little bit smarter because dyan na pumapasok ang economies of motion eh. Na, hindi masyadong maraming movements, you like to create more efficiencies.
Saan mapapansin mo, paano siya gumalaw, Coach Mike? Lon Reverente with a bucket. Pasay with a 6-0 run to begin this quarter. 2 minutes gone by in the second frame. Well, just going back to Mark. He always finds angles. Here you see him. Nakita niya, depensa ni Damian Lasco. Patungo dun sa screen, so he rejected that. But just to the point we're trying to make is that despite his body frame, bira mo tong pumwersa eh.
Okay,
It's
correct.
him just really finding those openings, the creases in the defense, and he takes advantage of that.
Correct. And that to me is really part of the improvements that you do as you go along, getting more experience, getting better reads. Sa dami ng reps na nilaro mo, nakita mo na yung sitwasyon na yun. Nung bata ka pa, you made certain mistakes in your decisions on those reads, but now parang naging na siya, naging business as usual na lang para dito kay Mark Doligon and J.R. Chavez. He just makes the guard rotation of the Pasay Voyagers a little bit deeper.
Kita mo kung gaano ka-impressive yung galaw na yun.
Alam mo kanina pinag-uusapan natin na napaka-key nung pag-elevate ng guard spot role nito ni Cyrus Tabi. But let's not forget, says J.R. Chavez also has to elevate because he's the secondary guard to Cyrus Tabi.
Gixer, great move of the game. Born for greatness. Nakalusot.
Oh yes. A little bit of hesitation. Try to freeze that defense left side of the floor. Throws it on the elbow side. Ang mabigat doon, sa kabila kinuha. Akala mo ikakaliwa na sa left side, pero napuntahan pa rin yung kabila.
Ito si J.R. Chavez, tubong Teresa Rizal yan, Coach Mike. And then, had his college ball in Cardona Rizal. Well, we'll get back to that story later as we will pause for a break. We have this time out. Pasay beating Marikina here, 95-89. Although we saw Coach Mike in terms of Pasay dominating this game in the first half. Humabol lang itong Marikina towards the latter stages of the last two quarters.
Yeah, and clearly you see yung points in the paint, which is a plus 10 para dito sa Pasay Voyagers. But I feel that the bench points have really helped them a lot in that win. That was a plus 27, 69 for Pasay, 42 lang para dito sa Marikina. Marikina though did get better in terms of converting the turnovers into points in that department, as Pasay there was a -4. But overall, really good shooting from Mark Sanko, Cyrus Tabi, Jopet Soriano, Damian Lasco, and even Christian Fajarito. And those guys have really led the way in terms of scoring for Pasay Voyagers in that win against Marikina.
JV De La Cruz called for that offensive foul, and he will be warned as well for unsportsmanlike behavior after complaining to referee Jay Castroverde. By the way, referees for this ball game, Jay Castroverde, Haleric Damicog, and Karina Martin. Fourth referee is John Lester Arcega. Noon Reverente, pinabayaan sa tres. Left that one short sa ilalim. Offensive rebound. At putback galing kay Jopet.
Unti-unti kahit papaano nagkakaroon na ng separation dito ang Pasay Voyagers, starting out the second quarter much stronger than how they did to start the game. They are outscoring itong Imus right now 9-2.
Ray Acuno, they go at the post. Mark Doligo this time forces his way in, and he'll earn himself 2 free throws after getting fouled.
I talk about being smart. There you see it. You know, he didn't force anything. Really had that 2-foot stop inside and went to his feet work to try and create a situation. And as he went, na-foul siya. Kaya yan ang halaga talaga ng having a 2-feet game inside the paint. Because that allows you to, parang it negates the advantage of the big man inside the paint.
LGR is the official outfitter of the MPBL. Mintis, parehong free throws ni Mark Doligon. Oo, no? Yung ganyan klase kasing intention. Nakikita mo na ang daming advantages na nakikreate eh.
Totoo naman. Kasi once na pumasok ka sa loob ng paint, technically, positional advantage lamang na yung mas malaki, diba?
Oo.
And so your only weapon, if you're the smaller guys, you have a really good footwork. And because it allows you to shot take, pivot, not quickly go to a shot. Oh, nice rim run.
Oh, Mintis. Pero nandun ulit for the stick back si Joshua Galliano naman.
That's another guy that they gotta look after for the Voyagers, Joshua Galliano. I'm a firm believer that Joshua's gonna have a really good game soon para dito sa Voyagers.
See the offensive rebounds coming into play for Pasay. The miss by Jopet Soriano, but nandoon yung kanyang kakampi na si Josh Galliano. And the Pasay Voyagers off to a 12-2 start here in the second quarter. They now lead by 9. Imus losing out to the Quezon Huskers 88-56. And well, they just had trouble dealing with the #1 rated defense in the league right now in Quezon.
Kaya nga, points in the paint sa naging diferensya talaga doon. And it's tough to be going up against a team like that.
Now they're facing off against one of the best offenses in the league, in the Pasay Voyagers. As a foul whistled against Pasay, Josh Galliano called for that personal.
Yeah, and that game was so tough for Imus that they only had 6 points through 1 quarter and only had 2 guys in double digits. Mark Doligon with 24, he talked about this earlier. And of course, Reggie Boy Basibas who had 11.
31-22. Galliano pivots towards Mark Doligo, now forcing his way in. Nakapihit, nakahanap ng siwang at nakapuntos.
I'm not surprised about that. Ito si Josh Galliano is pretty much used to playing offensive basketball, and I feel that's where he thrives a lot. Yung defensive side niya, actually, na-develop na lang yan when he was a good defender back then, but it got to a next level when he played for Ilagan, because understanding that Ilagan was primarily focused on the defensive end of the floor. And nung naglalaro siya kay Coach Mike sa gigit, itong si Josh is pretty much one of the offensive threats para kay Coach Mike, especially in that triple post offense.
6 straight points, ha?
Oo.
Kay Josh Galliano. All the last 6 of the Pasay Voyagers coming from the former Paranaque Patriot. Now he has the basketball, getting past Mark Doligon, and Doligon giving up that foul.
I just love the aggressiveness of Joshua Galliano right now for the Pasay Voyagers. And I'm pretty sure Coach Marlon has given him that go signal to go and do you. Be yourself on the floor. You got a shot, go take it.
Christian Farito replaces Jompit Soriano, earning himself an all-star appearance in the most recent MPBL All-Star game. Farito hands it off to Josh Galliano. Approaching 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Damian Lasco's free will not fall in. Rusey Koga on the left side. Whips it to JP Belencion. Stepping back. Could not shake off Galliano, and Galliano poking it loose. Tracking it down, saving it to Christian Farito. Thought about that three. Puts it on the deck. Lasco attacking the closeout. Oh, nice drive. Strong take to the hoop from Damian Lasco.
One might say that everything was done the right way para sa Pasay Voyagers in that sequence. Fumbled a little bit through the secondary defender, had to kick it out. Damian Lasco was able to draw a closeout on that right corner side and nothing else for him to do but to put the ball on the floor, attack the baseline, and go straight to the rack.
At ngayon, nasa sahig siya. Tinamaan siya ni JV De La Cruz. Referees will review this one. Man, Imus could only muster up 2 points so far. Almost 7 minutes gone by already in the second quarter.
And then so far, this has been what Damian Lasco and Joshua Galliano, guys coming off the bench for the Voyagers that have really provided that scoring need for the Voyagers that, a little bit slow in the first quarter compared to the Brotherhood team.
15-point lead. Pasay certainly has kicked up the intensity here in the second quarter. And it's an unsportsmanlike foul against JV De La Cruz.
Upon review, unsportsmanlike foul on number 21, David De La Cruz is third.
Third foul. So Mark Doligon with 2, 3 fouls against JV. So your 2 leading scorers.
That's right. And this is also a thing about itong Imus Brotherhood. And clearly that was a hit on that left side of the face of Damian Lasco by De La Cruz. The thing about the Imus Brotherhood is that yung mga key players nila, certain games they get into foul trouble. Early fouls in the first half, and then pretty much immobilized na defensively from the second half. So that's where most of the damage is being done by their opponents. And when you see the rotation pattern of the Pasay Voyagers, they seem not to lose the quality of guards every time na nagsasub sila, no?
Oo.
Salenga na ngayon nasa loob. Kanina pinalitan niya si Damian Lasco after that hit.
19-2 second quarter for the Pasay Voyagers. Don Reverente backing down. Jed Ong making full use of his size to get the basket.
Well, pretty much, at the end of the day, basketball's still a hunt game. You hunt where you have advantages. And that time, the stronger, the taller Don Reverente taking on the smaller Ong down on the low block. And you like that quick read also of the guard na quickly, dito na tayo. Ito na yung magiging point of attack natin para dito sa offensive sequence na ito.
Nagmimintis din sa free throw line ng Imus. Only 3 out of 7. Itong free throw na ito, din sa ating na Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kumpletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. 1 out of 2 at the line. And the Pasay Voyagers sue for time. They're comfortably ahead here. And we'll be right back. Back with us here inside the Robert Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium. Gixer fan of the game, born for greatness. Wag na kayong mahiya, kaway-kaway at mag-smile.
MPBL comes all the way here to Rosales, Pangasinan at pagkakataon yan. Medyo matagal-tagal yung exposure ninyo. Kaya naman talagang make the most out of it.
Kala ko pa naman na mahihain pala mga taga Rosales, no? Talaga?
Oo naman. Well,
First time ko kasi dito.
first time mo kasi.
First time namin
Well,
ni Andrea dito.
Well, I think this is my second or third time here in Rosales. Pero very similar to how our experience in Pola Mindoro, where it's, low-key, yung mga tao, mahiyain. Parang ganun eh. There's a lot of parang humility ba? Being humble on this is as you put it, a humble town. And pretty much that's how I would describe itong Rosales, at least for those 3 times that I've been here. But they do love their basketball though.
Dati, nagtatrabaho ko sa airpot ko sa Nueva
Nagtrabaho
Ecija.
ka?
Sa
Okay.
Nueva Ecija. Dumadaan kami dito sa Rosales eh. Pagpupunta kami sa mga kalapit na na mga towns sa Pangasinan. Alam mo, naalala ko dito, sarap kumain dito.
That I haven't tried yet here.
Sarap ng pares. Mayroong paresan dyan sa baba eh. As Jason Parito with a hook shot, 42-23, lamang ang Pasay ng 19 puntos.
Tingin ko si Christian nakakain ng pares, kaya maganda yung bitaw niya na yun.
Meron naman tayo eh. Sa Orion Fishball dito, pares.
Naman. Pero we never got to taste that. But the Voyagers, I think, are, putting on that stamp here in the second quarter. This is so much a better start to a quarter than how they did in the first.
Si Jasper po ito. Naipasa niya kay Christian Parito. Mintis yung kanyang tres. Bola na tabik ni Jasper at tinamaan ng ating monitor. Pero ang bola mapupunta sa Imus. Pero sila pa rin ang naghahabol. 19 points. Under 2 minutes left.
Roll.
No roll. And that's why it results into a turnover.
Well, it was, in my opinion, it was a slow decision. There was no sharpness to those cuts. And that decide to pass, unlike this one right here. That's pretty intentional. Get a shot fake, get the defender off, then use the offhand to feed off the guy sitting underneath.
44-23. They've held Imus to only
Nice
3
fake.
points here in the second quarter. And to add on to that, more assists from Pasay. Pero Imus with Reggie Boy Basibas nakabawi, nakapuntos at mayroong pang foul na kasama.
Well, isa na yan sa pinaka-consistent na brotherhood player para dito sa Imus. Because ako, the way that he plays has really, nakita mo yung shot selection niya, which is why ang taas ng kanyang shooting clip. Almost more than half of his shots really going in. And he just defers to his teammates pagka naman nakakailangan siya sa screens or what have you. Pero pag siya na yung kinakailangan pumuntos, kaya naman pupuntosan ito ni Reggie Boy Basibas.
Susugod si Jasper Salenga. Shot clock winding down because ball did not hit the rim on that Salenga shot.
Pero dinig mo yung sigaw ng bench na Pasay Voyagers. The Coach Vic Escudero. Probably ito lang si Coach Marlon lang yata hindi sumigaw eh. Chill lang si Coach Marlon doon sa corner. Pero everyone else on that bench were saying, tira na.
Mamaya, Coach Mike. Ewan, ikaw ba nagtanong nun minsan?
Ano?
Si Coach Marlon Martin, yung bukod tanging coach na pagdikit yung laro at merong mga plays.
Oh, yes.
Sa sahig niya,
Yeah.
may ginagawa eh.
Yeah.
Di ba?
I went to him earlier. I never had that opportunity to ask him that. I will go to him later and ask him about it.
Tanungin mo rin kung tama bang The Righteous ang nickname ni Cyrus. Palagay ko, tama naman dahil nakapuntos na naman off that basket by Imus. And he got fouled as well.
Ito na naman, kita mo naman yung drive na yun ni Cyrus. What you like about Cyrus is even on bumps, he still is able to gather himself, and go back to that form, or whether A, he's gonna take that shot, or B, he's gonna pass it off.
Malakas din talaga kasi pangangatawan nito.
And then tsaka, oh wow, another steal. Defense to offense. I talked to one of the coaches actually that knows Cyrus Tabi, and he says, that guy can score.
Can score, can defend, can
right.
almost do it all.
That is right.
Can do nothing wrong. That's why he is the righteous.
And you know what? If my info is correct, he came from the same school that Rob Celis played in college.
RTU. Tama.
Right.
And well, they could do nothing wrong, especially with this guy at the helm, Cyrus Tabi, all-around brilliance once more.
Very true. And when you say you could do nothing wrong, matter of fact, they only committed 2 turnovers, which a lot of efficiencies as well in the shot making, which was clearly an improvement from the first quarter. But Imus, much as they are down right now, they still have that firepower to try and come back and steal this game against the Voyagers.
Pasay with a 21-point lead at the half, 48-27.
Is that for Jego?
Pero mintis, dalawang free throw, ha? Oh, what a pass! Biggs Pascual setting up Kit Jimenez.
This has got to be one of the best games, if not the best game, that we've seen from Mix Pascual. Good decision making right there, but you got to catch up on the other end.
Defense once again. Ugsang at the post. Fading away. Oh my goodness, Reeve Ugsang. How about that?
If your key player is down, it's the role players that take over. Rivugsan this time, after giving that pass earlier to Mark Meneses, decides I'm gonna take on this one, taking on 3 white shirts, fading away, knocking it down to the delight of the Cebu Greats bench.
Sazon, Yambing will slam it down. Was actually asking for the lob. This guy could really jump out of a building. So si Rin William Bing.
Nice little pocket pass delivered there by Ives Sazon. It's still a slam for Rin William Bing. One hand plus as he brought back ang kanyang cornrows for this game.
You don't want to see going as well. Tandaan natin. Oh, what a move!
Grabe yun. And Mac Talio able to score.
In and out with the left hand and that right hand finish, leaving the defense on the dust. Mac Talio at his best, breaking down primary defenders.
Napako na sa 64 points. Rodel Gravera will slam it down with 2 hands.
He pretty much deserves that moment, itong si Rodel Gravera. He's just been a guy that they pull off the bench and always gives positive results. He never runs out of effort. Well, it was a foot race with Mix Pascual, and Mix was not gonna challenge that. And Rodel Gravera, a very quiet, athletic guy.
At nauuna siya dito, Farito will slam it down with his left hand.
He is in a zone. Christian Pajarito has made this Voyagers team and this Cuneta Ash Dome as his playground tonight, showing us everything that he can do on the floor. Left hand jam puts in that exclamation on the kind of game that Christian has played.
Missing the second. Davao, chance to win it. Escobedo inside the pass. Escocio scores! 0.7 seconds remaining. Val City calls timeout. What a play there by the Davao Occidental Tigers.
Well, they quickly ran the other way and trying to attack, understanding the time that was left, that front end miss.
About a 4-second differential between shot and game clock.
That is enough time.
Roy Sumang attacks, pulling up. Money on a mid-range jumper.
They got time.
But still a 2-possession game. Hamon, a second remaining. And that's gonna do it. Zamboanga. How about Roy Sumang? Struggling all game long with his shot. Delivers the dagger for the Zamboanga Sikat.
The dagger against June Manso, no problem. Little step back, and that basket made just in time to give them the lead and eventually the game.
Basilan with 7 steals compared to 8 naman for Ilagan Isabela. Alex Cabagno drives baseline. Oh! Had that tough angle but had the wits in English to will that one through.
Oh boy, what an incredible shot make by the Crunchman. Santos was trying to keep in step with him all the way to the hoop. Took it to the other side with a much more difficult attempt. Was able to use that offhand to keep Santos from getting in front of him. But still, the magnitude of the difficulty of the shot.
He has post start para dito sa Sarangani.
Oh! One-handed throwdown right out of the gates from Simon Sandagon.
Simon Sandagon in his last 2-3 games has really sent out a statement that he is laser focused to try and bring a title for the Quezon Huskers this season.
That came out of nowhere. Simon Sandagon announcing his entry. Back with us here at the Robert Estrella Senior Memorial Stadium, where we have a 21-point lead at the half, enjoyed by the Pasay Voyagers over the Imus Brotherhood. Yung field goal shooting, di naman nalalayo, no, Coach Mike? Pero pagdating sa turnovers at points of turnovers, doon nagkatalo.
Oh, totoo ka dyan. Pag tinignan mo pa yung turnovers na yan, actually, sa player, isa lang talaga yung nagkaroon ng turnover, si Cyrus Tabi lang. It's a team turnover, yung isa niyan kanina. And so, you get only one player that actually committed that a mistake. Shows you a lot of efficiency on their end. And because of that, yung mga atake sa loob ng paint, hindi talaga ma-stop nitong, Imus. And add to that, the really good help that they're getting off the bench.
Well, Imus got off to a strong start. It was actually 2019. Imus was in the lead in the first quarter, but they were outscored by the Pasay Voyagers 29-7.
Oh, and ang laking difference no. That plus 22 in the second quarter pretty much negates yung naging strong start nitong Imus Brotherhood to start the game against the Voyagers. And once guys like Damian Lasco, Joshua Galliano, J.R. Chavez came in, and these guys quickly helped out.
Also not helping their cause is the foul troubles of Mark Doligon, who had 2, and JV De La Cruz with 3 in the first half. They are their top 2 scorers undisputedly here when talking about the Imus Brotherhood.
Well, true enough. And you're not getting, in my opinion, yung solid help from the other guys para dito sa Brotherhood. The only 2 guys that have not shot the ball well for the Pasay Voyagers are actually Mark Sanko, who's 1 out of 4, and Jasper Salengos, 0 out of 3. He made 1 shot from the perimeter, a couple of shots from 3, still was not able to connect. But everyone else has, almost half of their shots really going in.
JV De La Cruz, JP Belencion, Reggie Boy Basibas, Usay Koga, and Mark Doligon. Rounding out the 5 for the Imus Brotherhood.
Look at the defensive coverage of the Pasay Voyagers. See that, how they try and have one guy inside the paint to make sure that that home is well protected. But hindi magandang offensive sequence yun para sa Imus Brotherhood. I didn't think that there was enough intensity for them to not be able to execute the offensive end of the floor. It's really not just, moving that ball.
Wala pa nakakapuntos dito sa ating third quarter. Darren Manliguez drives right. And 1 and done that time by the Pasay Voyagers. Skip pass of Belencion finding the hands of JV De La Cruz, who can't hit that long 2-point shot.
He settled for that 3. I felt, on that long closeout, as you see another 3 right here by Damian Lasco. I thought JV De La Cruz had that drive going the baseline side after that long closeout earlier.
Another steal by Pasay. Soriano scores off the glass. 52-27.
And the Brotherhood looking very tentative here to start the third quarter. You'd like to think you scored just, 7 points in the second quarter. You'd like to think that you'd come out firing here in the third quarter, pero mabagal pa rin katulad nung start nila dun sa second quarter, itong pangatlong quarter na ito.
53-27 ang ating score. Toby Agustin, may foul. Laban kay Rusey Koga.
Now it's hit on the face of by Rusey Koga.
At si
Agustin.
Si Toby Agustin, mayroong ice bag, hawak-hawak at nakalagay doon sa pisngi. Mabilis yung review, unsportsmanlike foul.
Yes.
Unsportsmanlike foul on number 13, Rusey Koga is
The way I
second.
saw it is parang closed fist, no? Kanina.
Yeah. here.
See that again. Drive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't even the left hand trying to steal the ball, no?
Not sure what Rusey Koga was trying to explain there. Toby Agustin.
Well, one might say that Rusey did not intentionally do that, but, you know, refs gotta call that.
Yeah.
You gotta make that call.
Toby Agustin. May pasok pa kayong free throws. 55-27. So it's one of those quarters once again for Imus where they just have trouble defending and also scoring as Reverente pa nakashoot ng tres from the right corner.
Eh, hindi pa nga tumitira. Nagtatayuan na yung mga kakampi niya sa bench. Pinangunahan pa ni Christian Pajarito at saka nito ni Cyrus Tabi. Hawak pa lang, alam na nila na pupukol itong si Don Reverente dun sa right corner 3 na yon.
Itong 3-point shot nito, it's sa atin ng Extreme, your one-stop shop appliances.
And a good timing as they were trying to exit that two-man game.
This quickly, it has ballooned the lead. It's now at 33 points. 60-27.
Ooh.
Belencion. Oh. Will that shot count?
I felt it was a flop on Agustin. I thought so too. Hindi naman ganun kalakas yung, well, there was a little bit of extension, but I don't think it'd be enough to throw him off that far.
Gustong i-challenge ni Coach Marlon Martin.
This is a good challenge. Actually, doon pa lang parang may travel na si JP.
There's a sniper in the building. But still, Coach Marlon will challenge.
Yes.
Which, in all likelihood, they will not win. But let's see. I may be wrong here.
Tinitingnan lang siguro nila dyan yung extension ng kamay. Kaya nag-challenge nila.
Alright. Pasay using their coach's challenge. We'll be back for the result of this one.
Upon review, the challenge was successful. The call has been overturned. Offensive foul on
Okay,
number
I was
16,
wrong.
JB Belencion.
Apparently, it was an offensive foul.
Well, in real time, it didn't look like ganun kalakas. Pero ito nga, nauna yung travel na yun, I think. Him selling it helped. But there definitely was an extension of that arm.
Kaya hindi ko kinuha ang profesyon yan, yung pagiging salesman. Hindi likas sa akin yan.
May mga players tayong talagang salesman, ano ko ba?
By the way, nalimutan ko lang batiin kahapon. Happy birthday to Iko de Guzman.
Oh, yes.
Ha? At syempre, ngayon, si Maki G.
Si Maki, yes.
Maki G.
Happy birthday, Maki.
Si Maki G. Nanonood ba si Maki G ngayon, Jeff?
Ah, naka-birthday leave?
Ha?
Naka-birthday leave? Wow, happy birthday, Maki. Enjoy your celebration.
62-27. Maki Bartesal Maligayang kaarawan sa iyo.
Ang isa sa mga malulupit na ano natin dito, kasama sa MPBL.
Barterzal daw. Ano ba talaga? Baka mag-message na si Maki sa akin, ha? Happy birthday, Maki Barterzal. Yan.
Go and miss.
Mahirap eh. Matagal na natin kasama. Na mali pa yung pangalan, no?
Actually, magkasama kami kahapon sa pauwi sa shuttle. Tahimik lang si Maki eh. Pero nung sinabi lang birthday ni Maki, nagpatian na. Happy birthday, Maki.
Ayan. Malamang magkasama sila ni Boss Ryan ngayon.
Malamang.
Toby Agustin, mintis yung kanyang tres.
I thought that had a good line of a shot.
Thumbs up daw, sabi ni JV De La Cruz.
High stagger nila, na ibababa nila into pin down. There you go.
Mark Doligon with the basketball against Fernandez. 4 seconds on their shot clock. Doligon spins into trouble, but a lucky break. Caught holding there was Daryl Manligues.
Actually, Mark Doligon dribbled into that two-man situation. He was trying to give it a chase for that baseline side, pero no way he was gonna claim it. Pero na-foul pa rin siya.
Rick Kaunan, hand off to JP Bilenchon. 5 seconds left on their shot clock. Bilenchon, his pocket was picked by Fernandez. And drop it, Soriano throws it down with two hands.
He's been waiting for that opportunity to try and throw down that hammer. And pretty much you try and reward your big man that runs the break with you, especially off a turnover.
64-27. And boy, Imus, with under 4 minutes remaining, has yet to buy a bucket. Still scoreless here in the third period.
That was a tough situation. Almost approaching the 7-minute mark of the third quarter. Already played, pero wala ka pa ring puntos na nagagawa dito. Samantalang napakarami ng na-score nitong Pasay Voyagers.
Popping up, Bilenchon. JP.
Somebody's got to take a shot.
Shot clock winding down. 2 seconds remaining. Doligon against the outstretched arms of Jopet Soriano. He fails to convert. Manligues. Nice pass by Toby Agustin. Rios misses but cleans up his own miss. Patuloy na lumulobo na ang lamang ng Pasay dito. 66-27. May foul na itatawag. Laban kay Daryl Manligues. Pass for the game brought to you by Extreme Cool Air Conditioners. Ang Extreme magpalamig, free installation for split type air conditioners.
And you like that this actually started on defensive end, and Soriano really running that lane alongside his buddies and finishing it off with a hammer.
Umihit, umikot sa baseline si Kerr Bangiles. At may pagkakataon siya na tapusin na yung hindi nila pagpuntos dito. 7.5 minutes scoreless here in the third quarter.
This is his first trip.
Mintis pa din.
You gotta make your free throws now.
Bangiles.
There you go.
Pasok.
And the first point coming off from the line.
Ilang puntos na ito? 38 ang lamang.
Yes.
Jopet Soriano was fouled.
And so far, every movement, every action by the Pasay Voyagers just shows Imus Brotherhood player that gets beat. And the reasons is, the Voyagers like to move a lot. Sanko now comes in.
Baseline inbound for Pasay. Ay! Pinadaan sa likod ni Carlos Sumabat. And this season, Quezon City and Caloocan, well, both of them, 4 points. Yan yung lowest output in a quarter by a team.
I think the most recent one was Quezon City. That was the game against Nueva
Nueva
Ecija,
Ecija,
right?
tama.
That was the recent one.
Tapos lowest points and a half pa sila. 9 points.
Yeah, we're under 2 minutes. They still got 1 point in the quarter.
Oo, wala pang field goal. And that will continue. 68-28. Oo, yung dalawang yan nangyari last Monday and Thursday. O tama, Thursday, Caloocan din yun.
Correct.
Against Ilagan. What quarter was that?
I don't recall. Well, that was when Ilagan actually won over di ba? Caloocan.
Oo. Mintis yung tira galing sa labas. Second quarter, no? Na 4 points lang yung Caloocan against Ilagan.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I actually remember that was when Ilagan started to make their run and create some separation against Caloocan.
Samantalang doon naman sa Quezon City, it's really second half na. That was a tough second half for Quezon City. They were pretty much in it in the first half.
First half, 29-26 pa yun.
That's right. They were pretty much in it.
They were just down by 3 points. And now, a possibility for that record to be broken right now.
I say the Imus Brotherhood based on the time left that we have. See that drive right there by Mark Doligon.
First field goal, 3 points in this quarter.
And your first field goal had to come in under a minute remaining in the third quarter. That was a long drought on the field goal stand.
Haba din nung mga yapak doon ni Fernandez. Mintis nga lang for Bangeles. Fast break and they avoid futility here. Talking about Imus. They score 5 points in the third period. But this lead still a massive one. 37 points down itong Imus against Pasay. Manligues, catch and shoot 3 off the mark. 4 seconds remaining. Doligon not recognizing the shot clock. Now he does. But he will not get it off in time. Oh man, it's been quite a struggle for Imus in the last 2 quarters. The second and third quarters, a combined 12 points. Highlights of the game brought to you by SIP Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration.
Well, he scored only 12 points through quarters after making, 20 in the first quarter. Clearly, it's night and day in terms of scoring para dito sa Imus Brotherhood. But the Voyagers don't mind them doing that at all as they continue to put that pressure on the offensive end and even on the defensive side.
Pasay and cruise control up by 37, 69-32. Mahiyain talaga sila dito. Huwag naman kayo mahiya. Ang ganda-ganda ng ating mga laro dito. Yan, kaway-kaway naman dyan. At syempre, kasama natin ang fan of the game. Hatid sa atin yan ng LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Ano, Coach?
Mamaya marami nang lalo ang tao dito. Especially as they gear up for that very important match later on by Pangasinan against Rizal. Alvin Alday and Eric Camson coming to town here in Rosales to go up against the Heat Waves later.
Fourth quarter, we have J.R. Chavez with Josh Galliano, Mark Sanko, Jordan Rios, and Fernandez. They swing the ball around. It eventually ends up with Mark Sanko, who can't hit the free from the left corner pocket. JV De La Cruz, Carlos Sumabat, Mark Doligon, Reggie Boy Basibas, at si Kurt Bangiles para naman sa Brotherhood. Kita mo si JV De La Cruz, basta nakaset yung feet, naka-square, yung kanyang shoulders for the jump shot, matik.
Alam naman natin kung anong kakayanan ng umiscore niyan. Kaya nga pinag-uusapan natin kanina, no, first quarter, mga what if kung available si JJ Caspe, he remains healthy for those games that, they needed that duo of De La Cruz and Caspe. But pretty much for most of those games, si Mark Doligon ang kumakarga ng scoring. Sama mo pa si Reggie Boy Basibas.
Katuwa lang, no? Di nahuli sa camera. Dumaan si Lawrence Victoria sa likod ng bench ng Pasay. Of course, he started and played a lot of games, a lot of seasons. Probably his most successful stints coming from the Pasay Voyagers here in the MPBL. Well, also Rizal. Kabilang din siya dun. Nakatuwa kasi Rizal mamaya lalaro. Ngayon, Pasay, medyo naka-bonding niya bago nung laro nila mamaya. And certainly, Lawrence Victoria, one of the best players who donned the Pasay Voyager jersey here in the MPBL.
Napaka-importante naman talaga yung lumingon ka kung saan ka nang galing. And I'm pretty sure Lawrence Victoria has made a good bond with the Voyagers, especially with Coach Marlon. And they've made special memories para dito sa Pasay Voyagers.
Doligon with a basket. Nandyan lang siya, no? Sa likod ni Jordan sa baseline. Nakaupo, nag-aabang. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Hernandez handoff to Rios.
Good
Ball
deflect.
intercepted, deflected by JV De La Cruz. It eventually results into a turnover. De La Cruz magtitimon para sa Imus Brotherhood. Carlos Sumabat sa bandang itaas. Binigay kay JV De La Cruz. Ball stolen away. Fernandez will stretch. Too strong on the layup though. Fernandez will try once more against Carlos Sumabat. Battle of two lengthy lefties.
And somehow you don't, if you're the Brotherhood, I'm sure they're not happy with the energy on the defensive end of the floor. That time, they got outnumbered and help came in very slow para dito sa Imus Brotherhood.
First free throw good for Fernandez. LGR, the official outfitter of the MPBL. Itong Imus, nag-start ng season 4-3. Had those impressive wins against Mindoro.
Yun talaga yun.
And Zamboanga.
Tsaka dito yun.
Dito yun no?
Dito
Dito
yun,
ngayon.
that's right. This was their very first home win. A game rather, by the Imus Brotherhood. Kaya nga, we were impressed because you have to remember, JJ Caspe last season played for Mindoro. And so, to go up against his former team and to win over them, sent a statement to everyone in that game.
Pasay also making a resounding statement. Already 9 steals. Mark Sanko scoring in transition once more, and Pasay just handily taking care of business. Up now 75-36.
You are still watching the MPBL. Now that we are nearing towards the playoffs, naibahagi nga sa akin ni Christian Fajarito how transferring from Binyan to Pasay turned out to be in his favor. True enough, marami siyang natutunan in a veteran-loaded Binyan team, but indeed, he was in the shadows of his kuyas. Dito sa Pasay, he's given the minutes and the opportunity. Sabi niya nga nakatulong for him to really get his rhythm and feel of the game. Plus factor pa na Coach Marlon Martin was his coach in Jensen back then when Pasay had a year off, while Coach Vic naman also became his coach in one of the leagues where he played for Laguna. So incorporating into the system did not become a problem. Ken and Coach Mike.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. Sometimes you just need a new scenery where you could thrive, and that's exactly what happened to Christian Fajarito. Although it helps that he has some familiarity with those aforementioned coaches. Coach Marlon Martin, Season 4 yun eh. Yung Jensen, kabilang siya doon sa team na yun. Nag-leave of absence yung Pasay muna doon. Hindi bumalik sila Season 5. Here it is. That pass Salenga to Galliano. So Soriano will now troop at the line. 2 shots para ay Errol Soriano. Mintis. Nakuha pa niya yung bola. Lumusob sa loob at nakabuntos. 77-38. J.R. Chavez nasa loob Binikwento ko kanina, Coach Mike, si J.R. Chavez. So, tubong Teresang Rizal yan. Now he fires for free, right on cue, knocks it down. Tapos nag-college yan sa Cardona before being discovered by Coach Mark Herrera. Eventually played for AMA before the pandemic.
Yeah, okay.
And then, kung maalala mo, unang season yan sa MPBL under Coach Elvis Tolentino with the Marikina Shoe Masters. Played there for a couple of seasons. And really thrived, if you recall. Although Coach Elvis certainly was tough on him, but it molded him to be the player that he is. And showing us the fruits of his labor now, being one of the key cogs para dito sa Pasay Voyagers. Also had stints with Negros and Amra last season. He actually posted his best numbers under Coach Elvis Tolentino. 11.2 points, 5.2 rebounds, 3.8 assists back in Season 5. We have a timeout here with 4:44 left. 82-40 Pasay, abante ng 42 puntos. Ito yung magandang laban ng Pasay, laban sa Binyan. Numerous subplots there. Pasay with Christian Fajarito facing off against his former team Binyan. Sa bantala, si Warren Bonifacio na with Binyan facing off against Pasay for the first time. At nag-abot pa sila in season. And both of those teams needing wins to boost their chances of getting into the playoffs.
And which really just makes all the more yung situation para dito sa dalawang teams na to even more interesting, because yung apat na teams that we were talking about, they're really trying to at least avoid the play-in, or for the most part try and get to number 4, so you have that home court advantage if you play really well deeper into the playoffs. And napakahalaga na para dito sa Pasay na yung dalawang remaining games nila, which first one being this, and looks like they're gonna win this, and then that last one against Binyan. And totoo naman yung sinasabi mo, napaka-poetic, no? Yung mga players na nakipagpalitan ng teams, they will figure in their last game for the season.
Oo yan yung na-delay na game dahil sa bagyo.
Correct.
And dahil nga kinailangan iusog yung laro na yon sa kaduduluan ng schedule.
Oo, kasi hindi mo lang pwede.
Napaganda pa
Yeah.
Kasi nga, parehong teams hindi pa sure kung pasok sila sa top 6 outright spot in the playoffs.
Right.
And if they incur a loss there, that could definitely make or break their quest of getting it to the playoffs outright. Baka isa sa kanila, kakailanganin pang dumaan sa play-in their respective divisions.
Yes. And I won't be surprised if even later si Coach Marlon decides to stay and watch that game by Lawrence Victoria as they go up against the Heat Waves go up against the Rizal team, because there are certain games in well, at least in the Las Piñas area where Coach Marlon actually went out of his way. Walang laro yung Voyagers pero pinanood yung laro ng Heat Waves. I'd like to think all because of Lawrence Victoria.
Sa pa-challenge galing kay Coach M, babalikan natin yan.
Upon review, the challenge was successful. Ball possession for Pasay.
Baba, 2 out of 2 si Coach Marlon Martin sa challenge.
Taas ng niya,
Success rate.
ng success rate ni Coach Marlon. Kanina yung kay JP Belencion. Tapos eto naman.
Sagutin mo na yung ating question of the day, Coach Mike.
Ang question of the day ay,
Oh.
ano nga yung question natin?
Si Coach Marlon Martin, yung bukong tanging coach, na pag nagmamap out ng play, yung coaching board yan nasa sa sahig, doon siya nagko-crokis.
Correct.
Bakit daw?
Correct. And so, ang sagot ni Coach Marlon dyan is that parang hindi siya komportable na hawak niya yung board habang kausap yung mga players. Ang gusto niya, maganda yung vision ng lahat ng players. And the way for him is really to put that board on the floor so that everybody is looking down. At nandun lang lahat yung focus. Hindi nakatingin sa kabilang bench, hindi nakatingin sa kabilang side ng floor. Talagang doon kung nasaan yung coaching board niya. At kaya lahat is focused dun sa kung anong gusto nilang gawin. And I found that very interesting. Sabi ko sa kanya, you are, in my opinion, the only coach that I've seen by far na puts the coaching board on the floor.
I mean, it may seem like a very minute detail in the naked eye, but it puts things into perspective, Coach Mike.
That's right.
And we've seen them most recently against Rizal, where they mapped out a play and they executed it to perfection, which forced overtime. And yun nga yung mga ganong kaliit na detalye often overlooked pero could also make or break the game for you.
And because of that approach, one of the teams in a tight game that they won over in a close match was actually the #1 team in the South right now, which is Quezon. They won over Quezon by 2 points. And that was the game that was held in San Andres.
Yeah.
And so that was the very first loss of Quezon that time.
Doon nabansagan si Cyrus Tabi ng The Righteous eh. Kasi he could do nothing wrong in that game.
Correct.
Pero sabi niya sa akin kanina, alam mo, sa basketball court lang yun eh. Dahil pagdating sa bahay, parang lagi daw siyang mali.
Marami naman ganun pagkakataon. Lalo na kung bata ka pa. Pero si Cyrus hindi naman bata na yan.
Di ba?
Oh yeah, tama naman. Makakapagpatotoo niyan even yung I think my lovely wife, yours. Kaya hindi ako righteous.
Baka maiwan ka dito sa Rosales, Coach Mike. Baka hindi ka makauwi ah.
Bakit ikaw ba righteous ka kay Nats? Di ba? But this is an important game for the Voyagers, really taking care of business and getting back into their pursuit of at least getting number 4 for the Voyagers. Mahirap, long shot, pero the only way that they're able to at least get a shot at it is win their final 2 games, and one of them being this one against Imus.
6 straight loss by the Imus Brotherhood. But Pasay, how impressive has their run been? 10 straight victories, 20-8 as they eye that number 4 spot in the North Division, and that entails at least a home court advantage in the first round. They still have Binyan waiting in the wings, but this guy could do nothing wrong once more. Cyrus Tabi, our best player of the game.
Well, Cyrus Tabi pretty much was very solid para dito sa Pasay Voyagers. It helped that he started the game very strong. Actually, in the first half, he was already 66% shooting at that time, and he really just carried on until he made sure that the Voyagers end up with a win against Imus today.
Yan ang final score, 87 for Pasay, 50 para naman sa Imus. Puntahan na natin at courtside si Miss Andrea Indicio.
Maraming salamat, Ken. First of all, Cyrus, congratulations. At ikaw nga ang nag-set ng tone para sa iyong kupunan, especially in the first half. Kaya na-pick up nila yung kanilang rhythm in the second quarter. Paano mo nagawa yun?
In-execute lang namin yung plays namin, and yung talaga, sabi nila coach, willing run muna kami bago kami mag-set ng play. So yun, binigay lang namin yung best namin, yun, nakuha namin yung advantage.
Balik tayo, no? Second quarter nyo nga na-pick up yung rhythm ninyo, pero narinig ko during the pregame huddle na ang gusto ni Coach M, maaga nyong ma-pick up yung tempo ninyo, pero during the first quarter, medyo mabagal pa, no? Anong naging reaction doon ni Coach Marlon at paano kayo nag-response?
Yun lang, palagi lang pinapaalala ni Coach na every game namin is slow start kami. Kaya nung pagpasok ng second quarter, pinick up na namin para makakuha kami ng buwelo para sa second half.
Alright, meron ka ba mga gustong batiin o pasalamatan? Go ahead.
Unang-una, salamat kay Lord sa panalo, and binabati ko po si Mayor Emmy Calixto Rubiano, Sir Ege Rubiano, Ma'am Lenny Rubiano, Expedia Management Investment, My Pet Space, Pet Hotel, JVA Security and Investigation Agency, NCR Dental Clinic, and second floor bar and lunch, and Capitol Restaurant, Met Park Sports Center, Tela Athletics, and binabati ko yung fiancé ko na nasa bahay and family niya, sila Tita Jing, Tita Presi, Tito Nick, sa family niya sa San Mateo, and family ko sa Palawan, sa mama ko sa Puerto Princesa, and sa mga auntie ko, sa uncle ko, sa mga boss ko, Boss Anthony Thomas, and Boss Jerry Ibanghilio, sa lahat ng sumusuporta ng Pasay Voyagers, maraming salamat. And sa anak ni Damian Lasco, sa wife niya, sa asawa ni Jopet, and sa sons niya, maraming salamat po.
Once again, that was Cyrus Tabi, our best player of the game. Back to you guys.
Maraming salamat, Andrea. At Cyrus Tabi helping Pasay gain a footing for a spot in the playoffs in the North. Pero, ang susunod na laro featuring teams from the South, Zamboanga Sikat Families, Brand Sardines will go up against the number 1 team in their division, the Quezon Huskers. Huwag ko yung aalis, mga kaliga, dahil magbabalik pa po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino.